All right, welcome to our first reading ever. Also, it's January, perfect time to begin again. What I would like for you to do is to pick a card, any card, pick one of these three, and we're going to pull an affirmation card from the Sun Steeped deck by Shannon Christie, a golden hour infused affirmation deck. Okay? All right, so the first one. I keep the promises I make, which is perfect for January. I know that we're usually setting intentions and things like that, but I want to actually caution against this. I want you to actually consider the cost, right? Because I don't want you to make a promise to yourself that you're not going to keep. You know what I mean? I want you to actually sit with it and be like, do I actually want to do that thing? The goal that I want to set this year, do I really want to set that, and why? Ask yourself why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? What is it about this goal that makes you happy? Center yourself in your goals, right? Like, don't set these goals for other people. Don't set these goals to impress other people. Set this goal for yourself, okay? So I keep the promises I make. I keep the promises I make. And yes, I'm going to say to yourself first, right? But also to other people. Think before you commit to something, right? Consider the cost. Do you have the energy? Do you have the time it takes to actually be dedicated to the thing? Or are you just saying yes to the thing because it sounds good? You know what I mean? All right. So the first card is I keep the promises I make. Yay. All right. Also, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the promises that you couldn't keep to yourself because of time or life, right? I want you to have grace with yourself. I know we're used to setting intentions and things like that with the best intentions, right? We usually set our intentions when we're happiest, right? When we're excited, and then life happens. We get bored with it, or, something else takes our attention. It's okay to change your mind. Everything doesn't have to be a promise. Everything doesn't have to be a promise. You don't have to hold yourself to what you said you were going to do 2 weeks ago when you were in a good mood and now you're sad and you can't do it. Forgive yourself, Be human. Allow yourself to be human. All right. So the first card says, I keep the promises I make. All right. Number two. Number two says, I am a beacon of light in my community. I love that. I am a beacon of light in my community. In your friend circle, in your family, consider the gifts that you bring, right? Consider the gifts that you bring to the people around you. Consider the gift that you are. Consider the light that you bring, right? And also recognize that light isn't always celebrated, right? Some people don't want to see stuff. And personally speaking, I can be a person who illuminates things or brings things to light. And it's not always going to be met with sunshine and lollipops and rainbows. People aren't always going to be happy about the things that you reveal, right? But you're the light. That's what you're supposed to do, is reveal. When things go covered and hidden, we can't really deal with the things that we want to deal with because we're too busy trying to cover and protect. But the thing is, people see it even though we try to cover it, right? So stand in that light. Stand in the light. Also understand, because you are a beacon of light, you're going to attract everything. I hate this phrase, you are what you attract. I completely disagree. I think that light attracts everything, right? When you turn off the light, you're drawn to the light. Your eyes are drawn to it. Everything is drawn to the light. Just because things are attracted to you does not mean that it's your fault. Does not mean that you have to sit with the weight of the consequences of that, right? It's not your fault, right? You are a beacon of light in your community. And so I want to give you a different consideration, because I know a lot of times people hear light and they're like, oh yeah, people love me, people adore me. And yes, that too, right? And you bring life, you bring beauty, all these wonderful things. And also everybody, right? Everybody ain't a fan of the light. Some people like to work in darkness. And so when you bring the light, people who work in the darkness are going to be bothered. People who are trying to hide something and you obviously see it, right? They're not going to be happy that you illuminate it. You feel me? So you want to be considerate of that. You are the light. You are a beacon of light in your community. How can you bring more light to your community, to your family, to your friend circle, to yourself, right? Are there things that you need to illuminate within yourself? Something to consider. Okay. All right. And number three says, I love this one. I find time to play. Yay. It is important that while we're setting our, New Year intentions, that we're also setting time to play, to have fun, to do stuff for the enjoyment of it, not to lose weight, not to gain something, not to earn something, but just for the pleasure and enjoyment of it. I feel like we lose the joy of play because we're always taught to be so serious. Everything is so serious. but you actually have to carve out time to play, because in this world, they're going to discourage play. They're going to discourage you from playing. They're going to discourage you from having a good time. Everything has to be about utility and about making money, right? But sometimes you got to set things aside that are just for hobbies, that remind you that you're human, that you're not here just to be a vessel of labor, right? Like you're not here to make somebody money. You're here to enjoy your life. Make sure that with setting all these intentions, keeping your promises to yourself, being a light in your community, that you're also having fun. Because if you're not having fun, what's the point, right? Make sure you're setting aside time to play. And play could be anything. Play could be playing cards. This is play for me, right? Like play could be anything. Play could be going for a bike ride or learning something new just for the joy of it, right? Make sure that you're not neglecting your inner child. You're not neglecting your adult self. Adults need fun too, right? I find time to play. Playing lengthens your life, right? You're not as stressed out. You're not as heavy. You're free and light and airy. So make doubly sure you're making time to play. All right. So that's our intro message for the new year. So I keep the promises I make, right? And make sure that before you make that promise, you count the cost, because you don't need another burden. You don't need another thing to beat yourself up about. You know what I'm saying? I'm a beacon of light in my community. How can you bring more light to dark places? Are you afraid of shining your light? I know for me, sometimes I'm afraid of shining my light because I'm afraid of being hurt. I'm afraid of people harming me, you know? So how can you be a brighter light in your community? How can you take up more space? How can you be louder instead of toning yourself down? How can you present yourself in a safe way where your light is going to be able to shine? And make sure that you're finding time to play. Okay, next we're going to pull a card from the Realist Oracle. The Realist Oracle deck. This is a new deck for me, so I'm really excited to try this out. All right. Oh, we got two. I'll take two. All right. So the card we have, is Fresh Start. Fresh Start. Fresh Start. Again, we're in the new year. This is a perfect card. Fresh Start. Fresh Start. What new beginnings do you need? What energy are you bringing in from the last year or just from yesterday? You feel me? What do you want to cut off? I cut off my hair all the time, and I love that feeling because I just feel so brand new. I feel like I can see myself. All of the weight, all the hair, all the energy is gone, and I can begin anew. I can start something fresh. Sometimes in the beginning of the year, you really need to reassess your goals and be like, am I bringing another goal from last year because that's who I was last year, right? Or am I really being myself? What do you need to cut off? And then the second card that was attached was attachment. So we got Fresh Start and attachment. And I really believe, like, what I'm thinking about is sometimes we're attached to heavy weights because we want to become who we think we need to become and not who we actually are. We change. Our dreams change. Our goals change, and we feel like we have to see the thing to completion, but that's not always the case. I honestly think that quitters do win. Quitters win because they know when to let go. They know when to give up. They've had enough and they're like, okay, I'm on to the next thing. But you can never be on to the next thing if you're always holding on to what you were attached to before, So yes. And I see this, even in this picture, like there's a woman with all these like boxes behind her. That's a lot. When you want to move somewhere else, when you want to do something else, it's hard to move. It's hard to move when you have all this stuff. And it doesn't have to just be things. It could be ideas. It could be beliefs. You don't believe what you believed before, but you're too afraid to let it go because of the sunken cost fallacy, which means that you're afraid that if I've dedicated all this time, all this money, all this energy, like I've made this my identity. And I think that's the thing too. Too many times we make things our identity when they're just things that we carry with us. That's not who we are. Those are just things that we enjoy, right? That's not who we are. So don't let these attachments stop you from actually beginning again and having a fresh start. So yes, fresh start and attachment, okay? All right, let's pick another card. I'm going to pick a card from Daily Rituals, okay? My Daily Rituals deck, intuition. All right. Ooh, the card that we have is meditation. I still my mind and surrender to the divine. I still my mind and surrender to the divine. What I'm thinking about is The fact that you can't have a fresh start and release attachments, things that are holding you down or weighing you down, if you don't stop. We're always going. We are always going, never stopping, never considering, never really checking in. Marathon runners, I don't even know why I brought that up. Marathon runners, like when you're running, right, there's a way that you have to check in with yourself to be like, am I good? Am I okay? How much energy am I using? If you're never still enough to actually hear yourself, how will you know what is an attachment that is a good attachment, right? And what is an attachment that needs to be let go? And when we let go of our attachments, we don't have to be like, screw you, forget you. No, we let go with grace and with care and with gratitude because we needed those things at some point, right? But they have served their purpose. We're not throwing them away. We're letting go of them gently. And when we let go of things, other people can use those things that we're letting go of. It creates more room. Stillness creates room. Stillness helps you to sit and actually take in and observe, what's actually going on around me? Let me check in. What do I actually like that thing? Or is that who I thought I had to be? Do I really believe that? Other people's ideas, other people's fears, other people's perceived limitations. Meditate on that. Sit still for a second before we even go into January, before we start to set the intentions and the goals and all this other stuff. Why are you setting that intention? Who is it for? Is it for you or for other people? Is it for your happiness and your joy and your pleasure? Or is it for other people's acceptance? Right? These things that I have, this identity that I've been carrying around with me, is it really me? Or is it something that somebody gave me and I took it as a gift? And so I thought that I couldn't let it go because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I don't want to become who I really want to become because then people will be mad at me. Then I'll be in trouble. Really sitting with that. Really sitting with that. So I urge you in this moment to meditate. Sit for a second. Sit for a second. Be still enough to surrender to the divine. Whatever the divine is for you, what is the divine saying? Even if it's you, your intuition, your inner thoughts, right? Like it don't even have to be that deep. You know what you think, but you have to listen to yourself and believe yourself. Yourself is always talking to you. You know what you don't like and what you do. You know what you're tolerating and what you're actually excited about. And be okay. Be okay with letting go of the thing that you're tolerating for the greater thing that brings you so much excitement. Again, how can you actually hold on to goodness if you never make any room for it? Holding on to things that are stale, they get stinky, right? They get weighed down. It gets heavy. When you're holding out your hand, like I have to keep switching hands. It's just a card, right? But holding out my hand for so long, I get tired. Aren't you tired of carrying things that are too heavy for you to carry? What are you carrying that's no longer yours? Just something to consider. Again, as we go into January, take this month to actually sit and meditate. Who am I? Who am I becoming? What do I like? What have I done before? Do I still want to do that thing? What else do I want to try? And give it your best go. Give yourself a fresh start. Give yourself a new beginning and let go of the attachments that are weighing you down with grace, with care, and with love and gratitude. It don't have to be a thing. You don't have to judge yourself. You don't have to judge it. It doesn't have to be bad just because you let it go. It served its purpose and we thank it and we move on and we let it go because that thing wants to be let go too. We're worried about ourselves, but the thing that we're holding on to that we know is stale, it wants to be let go of too. It wants to be let go of too so it can go on and live another life or go on to somebody else who actually needs it. I think about things that we have in our closet, use it in a practical way. Do you have clothes in your closet you're not wearing? Let it go. Somebody else needs that. Somebody else wants that. Somebody else knows what to do with it, and let it go knowing that new good things are coming. That was a good thing at some point and new things are coming. It's not the end of your newness. You haven't reached the bottom of your cup. You feel me? More stuff is coming. So again, make sure you're making promises to yourself and other people that you can actually handle and stand, that you actually like and agree with, not because you feel obligated, not because you feel burdened, right? Not because your ego is telling you, hey, you need to do this goal to be somebody important. You are already important. Now that you know that, what are the actual promises you want to make to yourself? Let it be light. Let it be easy. Let it be gentle. Be gentle with yourself. Don't do, I'm going to lose, all these pounds and I'm going to eat. No. What is something gentle that you can do? Can you start with just being kind to yourself in the morning? Saying a kind word to yourself? Can you promise yourself that? Can you promise yourself that even if you mess up, you'll be kind to yourself? Can you promise? Can you promise to be a safe place for your soul? Start there. Look within. Be that beacon of light. Shine brightly. It's scary. I know. It's really scary. It's scary to be seen. It's scary to be witnessed. It's scary because when you're shining, you draw things to you. And sometimes it ain't always good, right? But would you rather live in darkness for the rest of your life, or would you rather be seen by yourself? Aren't you excited to see who you become if you step out into the light? You know? And find time to play, okay? I don't care where you are. I don't care how old you are, what your career is. Stop being so serious all the time, especially Black women, okay? We need to play more. Play more. Playing reduces stress. It gives you more years on your life. It makes life less hard. It has actual physical benefits to play. Benefits to your brain as well. It keeps you young. It keeps you hopeful. Continue to play. You're never too old to play. Give yourself a fresh start, a new beginning, a new beginning. We're in January. It's a new year on the calendar, right? And we want to also assess, what are we bringing in from last year, from yesterday, from 2 hours ago, that we don't need anymore because we don't want to be weighed down. We don't want to be weighed down by too much so that we don't have room for the fresh start. You didn't lose anything. You're not a failure. You didn't lose. This is how life goes in cycles. Things come and things go. And it's all beautiful. It's all good. Okay? And the last thing I want to say to you is meditate. Think about it. Take time. Sit with yourself. Listen in. Turn off the noise. Turn off me. Turn me off. Turn off the improvement podcast. Turn all that stuff off and listen in, because you have the answers for you. Only you know you like you know you. You know the you that is behind closed doors. You know the you that has the personal thoughts. I really don't like that. I'm doing it, but I really don't like it. You know you. Listen to yourself and believe yourself the first time. Okay? All right. So that's it for our first reading. I hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know. I'm excited. I'm trying something new, but this is fun for me. So, all right. Until next time, y'all, take care of yourself and remember that you are everything. You are everything good. And you deserve goodness. All right. Later.